What's up guys, this is Andrew and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing something pretty cool for the R32. We have here a carbon fiber LED shift light steering wheel that we're going to be installing tonight in the car. We're over here at Black Dirt Motorsport out in Pine Island, New York. These guys know all things Volkswagen, so perfect guys to basically help out with an install like this. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'll link their Instagram account over here so you guys can go check out their IG account, and if you guys want and you're in the area, need some work done, come out, check out their shop, guys. They know their stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let me show you guys what this wheel looks like. Okay guys, so the first step you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna have to remove the old steering wheel in the car. You're gonna have to actually go ahead, turn the steering wheel clockwise or counterclockwise to make sure that it's vertically facing. You can see kind of right here how it's facing. Basically having the airbag situated like this, it will allow you to get to the rear of the steering wheel where there will be two holes on the top, one on the top and one on the bottom, and through there you're gonna have to use a flathead screwdriver or some kind of device to get in there and get to like lever action and really pry to try to get this to come off. Let's see if you can actually see here. The airbag's already out over here. So if you take this off, you can see guys right in here, there are these clips. Basically what you need to do is you need to get an Allen key, like I said, a screwdriver, something like that. You need to go through these holes right here in the back. When you get in here, you need to move that clip a little bit. You see how that clip's moving right there? Once that clip starts moving, you can then remove the airbag. You're gonna have to do that on the top and, like I mentioned, also on the bottom, and that will then go ahead, you're able to remove the airbag like you could see right here. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Once that's out, there's basically just a, looks like a, let's see what kind of bolt that is. It's a bolt in the middle, and you have to go ahead and get that bolt out. That will remove the whole entire steering wheel. Then you switch over the new steering wheel. We'll go from there. So I kind of just want to show you guys exactly what this looks like, taking out the steering wheel. Pretty simple, straightforward. But yeah, there you go, guys. Let's move on to the next step. Okay guys, so let's talk quickly about how we actually got power to the wheel. So the issue with the Mark IV setup, there's no like steering wheel controls that actually go up to the steering wheel. So the only actual voltage that will go through the clock spring is the actual airbag setup. You don't really want to hook up to the airbag setup. We did try doing that. We didn't get enough current running through the airbag power in order to light up the actual LED lights. So instead, we pulled out the clock spring, we pulled out all the trim around the steering column to figure out where we could tap in. So what we figured out, I'll just show you guys kind of quickly as I explain here, there is a power source obviously going to the ignition that we could tap straight into. From there, we ran power into the clock spring. The clock spring actually has two pins that are not used. We can then use those pins to then run 12-volt power through the clock spring and up into the steering wheel, which then at that point connecting basically the power for the LED lights. So that's basically the way we went about doing it. I'll show you guys kind of close-ups exactly what we did. Definitely I'm happy I brought the car here because I would have never thought about going about it this way. So really cool way to go about it, and it's basically OEM and is super easy and convenient way to set this up. So I'll give you guys a little close-up here and I'll explain kind of a little bit more of what we went into detail. Looking over here, guys, you can see this is the ignition right here, the back of the ignition. This red wire right here is 12-volt power. We put a connector onto here, ran it over to the clock spring. The last pin for the clock spring is not used, so we were able to use that source to then basically tap straight into, run the power through the clock spring, and then, let's see here. You guys can see the top part of the clock spring right over here where it connects to the steering wheel. Right here is the pin that we were able to connect into. So basically taking that pin and just going ahead, connecting it straight up to the steering wheel. In our case, we had to use both powers. There are 2 power sources for the steering wheel. We had to use both of them to light up the LEDs, so we were using both powers. And then you can see here, just going over and connecting straight over to a ground source. So that's basically the setup of how we got power to here. This connects over to the airbag. So once we get the airbag reconnected, we will get that situated too. So yeah, guys, that is basically the way it is all set up. Really cool. I like the way this is set up. Definitely the best way to run the power. Currently right now what we're doing is we are just hooking up the OBD2 sensor. So down over here there is a sensor that will plug into the OBD2 and it will feed all the power or the information to the steering wheel remotely via Wi-Fi. So, or I think it's Bluetooth actually, yeah, via Bluetooth. It will communicate to the steering wheel and display everything on the wheel. So right now we're getting all that set up. We're just getting a tray situated down here, getting that plugged in, and then once all that's together, it's basically just reassembling everything and getting the car back together. So I kind of just want to show you guys this final part of it, and probably the next shot you'll see is putting everything back together and getting the car on the road and testing it. So let's see how that goes. What's up, guys? We are back. It's the next day now. I am here with Justin.
What's going on, guys?
We are finally back. We're working on the R today. One thing I gotta do is we gotta program the steering wheel, figure out everything that needs to be correct with it. Last night we ended around midnight and it was just really late at that point. I figured just let's go home. I'll deal with the programming of the steering wheel and everything the next day. So it's the next day now. Let's go ahead and let's show you guys more the details of the steering wheel, the features that come with it, and how to program the wheel. That will probably be the next thing that we have to do for the wheel. Like I mentioned last night, and as you could see in the install, it's definitely a lot more complex than I thought to install this wheel. You actually have to take the power through the clock spring and then into the airbag, connecting the 12-volt power that way. That was the best way to do it. I also talked to KP, the guy who, you know, makes the wheel for KP Carbon, and he told me that he had to do the exact same thing on his GTR. I guess it really just depends on the car that you have, how you need to go about it. If you have actual like steering wheel controls for like volume, changing the next song and all that stuff on your steering wheel, this would be a way easier job. All you would need to do is plug in or tap into those 12-volt powers for those control modules. Once you do that, that would give you the 12-volt power that all you need to actually get the wheel hooked up. If you don't have any of those controls, like you could see on the Mark IV R32 wheel, that's when you're gonna have to go through the clock spring, and that's why this was such a pain to do. So I'm gonna show you guys all the connectors that we used and just kind of like now go over the features like I mentioned. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay guys, so looking now at the wheel, we have the wheel on the car. The coolest thing about this wheel, when you turn it on, the wheel automatically turns on with the car. So as you get in, everything should be functional. If you do not want the wheel on, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is hit these 2 buttons on the side here and hold them down, and the wheel will turn off. You can see, just gotta hold it for a few seconds, and there you go, wheel is off. If you wanna turn it on then, simply enough, hold the wheel, these 2 buttons down, and there you go guys, the wheel will turn back on. Got all the lights and everything like that indicated. So now there's a menu that you can get to. You have to hold down this button on this side of the wheel. You can see there's a menu that pops up here. We have these 4 different menus, basically selections here. The first one we can go into is kind of like a lap time mode for like if you're doing laps and stuff like that. You basically hit this button, start it, and then you can stop it and go out, things like that basically. This also goes back to the main screen. Hold this back down and go back into here. Second button. This second button here is for the LED lights. You hold this down, or this down. You go into here, you could see you have the first one is the actual LED functioning. The last part here is the color. This is a really cool function of the wheel. Go into this aspect and you can change all of the different colors on the wheel. So as you can see here, there are 5 LED lights. You can see going down here, the first 2 are green, the second 2 are yellow, and then as you go down, the last one is red, and then you have flashing red. These are for indicators. You guys can also change for indicating if you'd like, and also these are your hazards. So kind of cool that you have all of these options. I don't know, just something different that you could see on a wheel that is maybe not on every single kind of LED wheel out there. You also have a setting here for boost if your car has boost. Obviously the R32, at least my car currently doesn't have boost. We have the downshift settings. So these will shift for downshifting. Anything below 1,000 RPMs, basically, it could recommend you to downshift. Let's go back. Then you have the upshift here. You have to actually set this when you get the wheel. So mine was set at 3,000 RPMs. Red line for the R32 is 3,600. So we just bumped up to 3,600, and now the LEDs will actually come on and blink red at the correct shift point. Alright guys, so let's wrap up this video for today. I love this KP Carbon steering wheel. I think it's an amazing wheel. I love the functionality that it has on it. Like I mentioned, it is kind of a little bit of a pain to get on the car. This video should at least help anyone who is trying to figure out how to get the wheel on the car, just a little bit more how to understand about how to get it working and operating. Like I mentioned, you're gonna have to go through the clock spring, pin out the clock spring correctly, and then run that power, say from either the ignition or from the fuse box, doing an inline fuse over to the actual wheel to get that power that you need for the 12 volt for the shift light up here. So definitely it's a little bit more complex than say just take off the old wheel, put it on and go, but I think it's definitely doable for someone if you at least have the understanding of how to go about and do it. Definitely a cool upgrade. I love the look of the wheel, how it functions. Let's just turn it on so you guys can just see it one last time here. So you can see, pretty simple. The car turns on. This does not turn on right away. It will turn on like right now. So there you go. It's turning on, everything like that. I love the output of the display here in the middle. The LCD screen is really, really nice. It has the mile-an-hour readout, and I also have RPMs on here. But like I mentioned, you can change it to either temperature and boost, or you can change it to a track mode for like race lap times. Also, it can give your miles per gallon that you're getting, that you're driving with. So you have a bunch of features and options when you are driving with this wheel to actually just see the readouts right here on your screen. Really simple, really nice. And of course, the shift lights, when you actually are driving, you can see. It's really cool. I love the way it looks and functions. I don't know. I'm all about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this wheel in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the wheel. Do you think it was worth it? I'll also leave a link to KP Carbon's wheel on their website, so if anyone's interested in purchasing it, go check out their website, guys. Really cool. It takes about 3 weeks or so for the wheel to be made, but definitely worth it. I think the quality overall of this wheel is absolutely amazing. Worth it 100%, guys. So if you guys enjoyed this video, as always, go down below, hit that like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Like I mentioned before, it helps out with the YouTube algorithm and helping place the video higher so more people can even see about this wheel. Like I mentioned, Big Al does have this wheel. Not many people know the wheel company that he has make it. So now you guys can all know who makes his wheel, how it is installed, and how it functions. So definitely think that's really cool. You guys will have to let me know what you think of it in the comment section, like I mentioned down below. Until next time, guys, my name's Andrew. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.